It usually happens to me, like I don't check the settings and I always forget about that part. But yeah, I have the stream on, so I have to make sure it's right. Sorry. Okay, so 1, 2, primary monitor. Okay. I'm trying to make sure that you can see the PowerPoint, but the program itself, it's saying that I'm... Fuck. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay. So, you can see the PowerPoint, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Give me a second. I'm gonna like clear my throat real quick. I have like allergies right now because the air's so dry in California and we don't have winter. So there's so much dust particles right now. Okay, so this is probably 30 minutes. So also I trade Forex and I trade every day. I also trade stocks and Forex is like something that really pushes your limits. It ticks you off every time when you miss that one trade, and that setup makes so much sense. Where you think, okay, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get that move, and then you miss the move that you were looking for, or something one goes wrong. And I can tell you, like, the liquidation in Forex is much worse than stocks. Okay, so I just want to start off with a quote. You know, your best quote is what it's a stupid quote that was like a default, and I really liked it at that time. So I think you can read it for yourself. But this guy is this one I really like. Oskanis Stevani. He has a book. So in this market, he says, let me tell you, there's nothing easy about trading currencies. If you don't believe me, stop by Warren Buffett's office, and how could you lose 850 billion betting on a dollar, or ask King George Soros why short bets lost him 600 million not once but twice in 1994. These guys read Forex trading books? If these investment legends can lose billions in the Forex market, what makes anyone think it's anything easy about it? Okay, so this guy, I read his book and it really clicked, and I include some of his pictures in the book. So I'll go anything that's had like his pictures I included, and he can get credit for that. So Forex is the act of exchanging money. So in the Forex market, it's actually really big. It's a big market. Okay, it's on daily. $6.6 trillion is traded in the Forex market. So this is the average trading volume. What about the stock market itself? Well, you're only getting billions. So this is a monster market. And I was explaining earlier in those pictures, right? So this is the base currency, and this is the quote currency. So I was trying to explain, if you're exchanging euros to dollars, this is how much a euro is equal to. $1.14. Okay, it's not really $1.14. You want to include the other digits behind it. But if we're looking to exchange a dollar to a euro, this is $1 equals to 87 euros. And that is just Forex. You're just exchanging money, and it's not a scam. You do it every day. Everyone does it at one point. Where you're traveling to another country, you gotta use a local currency. And that's just it. It's just exchanging money. So there's a person one time who told me, is Forex a scam? So So this lady called it a scam. Is it a scam? And I said it's not a scam. So this is how much we're traded in 2019. That's per day. That's on average. We probably are doing more right now with the Fed pumping in more money. This could be 9 trillion. So they do the survey every 3 years, and so we're actually due for next year when they do the survey again. This number will increase. Okay, so we went from 5.1 trillion 3 years earlier, and now we're trading right now on based on 2019 6.6 trillion. Okay, so behind all that, the US dollar is what's being traded the most because the US dollar is the reserve currency. And you kind of see the value. Okay, so this is how we're settled. Okay, yeah, 6.6 trillion. Most of that is the US dollar, followed by the euro and the yen pairs. And who are you? You're actually going against big banks, government, and hedge funds, or some other prop firm. So you have a lot of participants in this market. So there's always liquidity in this market, and that's what I was trying to explain earlier in earlier videos. Let me try to find it. Okay, hold on. So very liquid and highly present, highly leveraged though. You know, you have low leverage in stocks, and the reason why it's low leverage in stocks because you have all these government regulations and rules. In Forex, it can be regulated or unregulated. And that's where you get the really high leverage of 1 to 500 or 1,000 leverage. I've seen 2,000. Someone told me there was 2,000 leverage. And I was like, wow, I never will go there. I'll probably stick to 500 leverage. So that's the thing. So, you know, you can trade stocks on Forex. Like, okay, if you do FTMO, and I'll talk about FTMO with chefs later, but I'll explain what's FTMO and why you should do it. But the base case is that you are risking a small amount of money to get a account size that could be like 50,000, 100,000, or 200,000. I have seen one prop firm giving a 400,000 account, and I'm thinking that's such a good deal for a $400,000 account, but you're to risk that, you know, you have to pass the challenges that they do. And the part I want people to do is do prep. You know, you have to prep for doing these challenges, you know, because it's not easy. This account right here was $50,000, and at one point I was at 63, but I'm down 5. But I still considered I passed the challenge because the challenge was I have to make 5,000, and all of that was like seeing like a trade set up on a few days ago when we dropped really hard here and on NASDAQ. So let me show you the trade I did. So I saw this structure, not in a 30-minute, but because I can't scroll back. Actually, I can. Let me just do 5-minute. Okay, so we had that drop on Friday. What was it? No, we had that drop on Thursday or Wednesday. I got in, and because it was my doctor's appointment, I was able to catch the bounce. Oh, right here. Yeah. So I went to my doctor's appointment, and then I put a position on right here. Okay, I was immediately down about 7. No, I was down 200, but I kept scaling in and then I said my target was 15,950, and it hit. Okay, so that was the trade I did for this one, and I finished the challenge with this account at 700. No, actually I spent $8,000 on this because the lot size I was using was a 2 lot, so I was controlling about $2 million on US, on NASDAQ. So US 100 is NASDAQ. Okay, so that's why you can use Forex, because if you have leverage, you can leverage your money to make more money, and that's what rich people do. And it's the same thing what you do in Forex. So this market's really huge. Okay, so that takes care of one. And okay, so the leader, so you have players in the Forex market. Let's say it's stock market. You have buyers and sellers. Okay, same thing with Forex. You're always buyers, sellers, but it works differently in the sense that in the Forex market there are no market makers. So specialists are market makers. So this is a centralized market. This is actually the New York Stock Exchange. You have a buyer, an intermediate that sells it and controls the spread. And like, let's say they control the spread by the penny. There actually is none in Forex, and the spread can get insane. That's why you never trust. Like if you're doing FTMO, right, and you are doing this such wide spread, and you're trying to compare it to, let's say, okay, what's on TradingView right now, the spread's never going to be the same because it's not the right broker. You can only use this to guide you into your trade and like get brownie points when we're going to reach it. So that's the thing about spreads. Okay. So this is what you should be remembering as a Forex trader. You're trading with an online market. You're trading with your broker. The broker actually controls whatever quotes it gets, but it gets it from so many different places that you're just trying to see like what's the best spread that they get. And then you are right here. So we kind of organize differently. It's kind of organized in a hierarchy system. So those with superior credit access, volume, and sophistication receive priority in the market. On top of the food chain is the interbank market, which trades the highest volume per day in the G7 currencies. So I want to get into that part. I'm going to just review. So the G7 currencies, if we kind of exclude the Swiss, we would probably say, you have the euro, the dollar, the yen, the pound, the Canadian, Aussie dollar, and and the New Zealand. Actually, I think these are more important, so I don't know why they say G7, because they really have to include the Swiss, because the Swiss is a safe haven. So is the yen. Okay. Okay, so this is like the banks. This is old book. So if Deutsche Bank doesn't do it anymore, I think Bank of America and JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs do it more. So this is taken about 20 years ago. But it's mostly JP Morgan and the big banks of America that do it. So I won't, and shadow banking, as I said, I won't explain that until later. And I'm kind of splitting this up because I want to make this 30 minutes. But I do want to go over lot size and pips to end the video. So a pip basically is what it's saying. So the last digit is a 1 pip. So per pip, let's say you have 11 pips, and I was doing that math example where like we're at 1.1411. I think that's about right. And you add 11 pips, that's 1.22. Okay, so that's just one example. Yen pairs are kind of different in the sense that most people do not consider like the third digit to be a pip. What's gold doing? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just making sure. Trying to get a pip, trying to get an entry on gold right now. I just want to buy a dip, and I don't really want to short gold. I can do short. I can short gold too, but I don't want to. So that's what I was trying to say. It's like, you know, you have to calculate how much pips, and sometimes, they can move in 5 cents. So on gold, if you look at gold, we have this actually is kind of moved to right here for the purposes of making it simple. So this is a pip, and it just, if you look, it kind of makes sense. So the pip that you're looking for is this cents, like the 10 cents movement on this part, because what TradingView is saying is not right, but it's only for Ohana. So the last pip that you count is on this decimal place right here at the 10th place, and so that's 1 pip. Looks like we did a double tap on gold, and I'm not sure if that makes sense, but here's a picture, and you can look this on baby pips. Okay, so broker wise, how do you pick a broker? You want tight spreads and good leverage. 1 to 500, you mean you risk less, more profits are made, and you want a lot of different pairs and sizes, and you want the broker to be up to date. Like, what if they want to offer a new crypto? You want to trade, they don't have it, and you can go ahead and ask them to request it. So that's something that you want to take a look at. But a bad broker is like the spreads are wide. They liquidate you too much because of the spread. That's how they make money off of you. If you lose on the commission and the spread and the swap fees. I can tell you, swap fees, they can hit your profits pretty hard. I know this is paper. This is a trial account, but I paid almost $600 in swap fees or something like that. I think this is $700. I'm not going to calculate, but they eat your profits, so you have to be careful about that. But that's only if you're swinging. Just make sure you're not using sizes. But if I didn't use a big size, I would not be able to cover the swap fees. And I'll explain that in later lectures. What's swap fees? So you might be wondering, what's a good broker? Well, I mostly been using Hugo's Way, and I think about switching lately. I think I've been want to switch to Prosperity, because Hugo, I starting to get really tired of Hugo's. Just because like the spread is always a problem with Hugo sometimes, and I talked to them about it, but they can't do anything about it. So that's the end of part 1. I think I kind of explained a pip, and I still have to go over lot sizes. So a lot size is the amount of currency you control. So I was trying to explain that. So if you are using a standard pair, so a standard pair is 1 lot. I think, no, let me check my notes real quick. I wrote this down in a picture. Okay, so in this picture, I kind of refer back to it just to remind myself. So a micro lot is 0.1, a mini lot is 0.10, and a standard lot is 1 lot. Okay, so when we go to the nano lot, yeah, so this makes sense. Like 0.01 is nano and 0.1 is 1 lot. A 0.10 is mini and a 1 lot is 1 lot, a standard size. Definitely you will, when you're starting out, you won't be doing a standard lot because that is a lot. Unless you're using 1 to 100 leverage and you're doing these challenge accounts, I would probably stick to a mini or a micro lot until you're comfortable. It depends what pair you're trading. If you're trading like the Forex currencies, you probably would only do a mini until you're comfortable with doing a standard lot. This I have to use a standard lot because it's not enough. So, this example springs right here, the unit currency you control. So let's say you're doing a standard lot, you could actually control $10. So every cent, so every pip, when you go up, you're getting $10. So I probably want to use an example. Like we'll do Hugo's. What the shit? I knew it. I knew it. That was a dip and rip. Okay, so if we're doing a 0.10 on Hugo's, let's do this. We're going to do a market buy order. Okay, so right now I'm down $10. And this is just example, but I'm actually using 237 $234.63. This is my free margin, so that's money I have left over, and this is my margin level. So you can see that I'm only risking about $10 for this because the amount of currency I control on the spiders, the XPX, I'm actually controlling 100. So that's a difference between opening one in Hugo's and here, because I was only controlling in here. I was only controlling 10 units. So that the difference is wide in a case that I'm gonna do a 0.10, and I'll show you it's pretty small. So it's like a penny. Okay, here I'm controlling more, and then now I'm controlling in pennies. So this is not going to work for me, nor I want that move if pennies. So I'm only controlling about 10 cents versus here I'm controlling dollars. That's a difference with the brokers. I actually never explained that, but that's something new I should explain. The reason why is the specification of the contracts. The contract size does matter. In a case where one broker has different leverage of how much currency they control. In the case of Hugo's Way, you actually get more since the contract size is 100 units per lot size. So a 1 lot size, probably here you're controlling $1. And here, when you're controlling a 0.01 lot, you're only controlling 1 cent. So in this case, you're controlling only 10 cents of currency. And that's how I like to think about it. And it makes more sense that way if you just think about that in your lot sizes. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but I hope that does. Okay, so sorry, let me just have some water. Okay, so yeah, earlier I was talking about the size. This is the monster in NYC, the New York Stock Exchange, and then you look at the Forex market, it's like a big blob. So, the advantage of the Forex market is that it's 24 hours, 5 days a week. It closes down on the weekends. It opens on Sunday. Except for if they have crypto, so crypto's 24/7. Do you guys have any questions about lot sizes and pips? Because I really stress on that a lot. Okay, so I redid the stream. If you guys don't have any questions, I'll see you all Tuesday, and we'll go more in depth. All of this is recorded. If you go on my YouTube, I have a Forex lecture playlist that I did before. Mine, the lecture one, that I did that earlier this year, and everyone was so rude to me in the beginning. I just had to make a point. But the rest, which should make sense after, I do kind of want to update that video anyways. So this is just an introduction. If you have any questions, just DM me or shoot me an email. But that's about it.
Thank you. I do appreciate that, Type.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for bearing with me.
No, it's okay.
I had some technical difficulties earlier.